Welcome back, everyone, to Citywide Blackout, your home for music, movies, and a whole lot more. I'm your host, Max Bowen, and my next guest, she joins me all the way from Ottawa, Toronto, Canada. She is a longtime musician, a player of numerous venues, and we're talking to her about just all kinds of things because I've never actually been to Canada, so I'm really curious about the scene up there. I'm talking to Sabrina Fallah. Welcome to the show. It is awesome talking to you.
Thank you for having me. It's beautiful here. It's very warm.
It's very warm here too. A little too warm for my taste. I hate summertime. I wish it was fall or winter.
But we have more winter than summer, so I'm enjoying the weather.
I'm getting patchy.
Now, even though it gets too hot and the heat has gotten to me,
yeah.
But I try not to complain, and I still go out in the heat even though it gets to me. So
Gotcha. Now, do you do a lot of playing out at this time of year, or is this more your hibernate time, work on music, and get kind of set for the next season?
It mixes up. Sometimes I'm fully performing. Sometimes I'm not taking a break, but I'm just resting to work on new material. But summertime is the time for all the festivals and stuff. But
cool.
But there is open mics and all year round, pretty much every single day of the week. And when you know the person who is hosting it, they sometimes bring you back every week. But I like to go to new places to meet new people, see new musicians. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunity here. Sometimes you just have to find it.
Okay. Now, how do you find new places to play? Do you just kind of go out there and say, "Hey, my name is Sabrina. I do music. Here's my stuff." Or are you just so do you just know so many folks these days that you can just call someone and say, "Hey, I'm looking for a gig. What do you got?"
Sometimes it's word of mouth. Sometimes I'm performing somewhere and they say, I'm performing here. Maybe you should get a show there. Or somebody wants an opener. Or I just go on Google and do my search.
There you go.
I used to do a lot of search on Kijiji back in the day when everybody was posting, looking for a show, looking for a band, looking for an opener, all that stuff. But Kijiji and I wasn't the best because, there's drama and stuff on there too. They can be pretty... the people are not always the nicest, but I just go on there just to find what I'm looking for. But I haven't been on there in a while because I just couldn't take it anymore. So all I do is I just search Ottawa area performances. But plus I know a lot of the places already, and some people, so I can find it. But it's mostly just going to find the festivals and shows happening the whole year and just submitting to all of them, and hopefully somebody contacts you back.
Cool. So,
but at the same time, I do open mics as well.
Oh, so you just branch out everywhere, huh?
Yes. I say get on a stage as much as you can if you want to get known.
Yeah, definitely.
And every stage is an opportunity to practice, to learn, to practice new things, to learn. Because when I first started, I was nervous, I was shy. So going to open mics helped me. Maybe I should do this and do that, try this and that. It's the best places to try things. So when you go do an actual gig, you're not trying it anymore. You already know that you should do this and not that, how the crowd's reacting. Plus, anything can happen at a show too. A string can break, the sound can go off. They might have no sound system by accident. Sorry, our sound system's down. You have to do it with no plug-in. I've done that before when I had to sing just on my acoustic guitar with no mic, but I had to be careful because of to push the voice. But I've done it. So, but it's so cool because it's more intimate. Mm-hmm. Because you feel more connected than being on the mic and everybody's hearing you. It's different.
Yeah, definitely.
It's nice.
And I like your attitude about how any show is a chance to try new things, practice a little bit. Some folks get so upset when something goes wrong. It's look, guys, this is life. So I think that your approach is a good one to go with, that treat a show like a chance to just, even if you're playing for 4 people, play like hell for those 4 people.
I used to be mad.
Oh, really?
When I was younger, when I was messing up. But then I remember what my vocal coach said. If it's one person or 1,000 people, you sing like you're singing in front of a crowd. Because at the beginning, you're not going to fill up the bars, right?
Exactly.
So you just have to sing like the way you want to attract. And it's true. Even when I practice in my home, I pretend I'm on that stage in front of thousands of people, really trying to put that on, make that stage presence, because I have to practice it too. I can't just sing at home and practice. I have to practice like I'm going to be on stage.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Now, you mentioned earlier that you're looking at some festivals right now. What are some of the festivals happening in your area that you're either playing at or would kind of like to play at?
Well, the festivals here in Ottawa are Blues Fest, West Fest. Super X was here.
Super X, I love that name.
Super X, Ottawa Super X was here in 2008 for a few years, but then it moved away. I don't know where it went to. And then there's West Fest. So I played in all of the main festivals, but going back to them, it's like because there's so many bands, so many new artists coming, they like to give the newcomers more of a chance, and then you're still... Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention Ottawa Tulip Festival. Yeah, I don't want to forget the Tulip Festival.
No,
one of the biggest things that happen in May. And then that's when they bring the tulips out, and then as soon as the tulips are blossoming, then the Tulip Festival starts. One year, it was so cold that the tulips froze. And then a week later, I had to go on stage, and somehow, a miracle, everything defrosted.
There you go.
The weather can be kind of crazy here.
I live in Massachusetts. I will see your crazy weather story and raise you. Because we get weirder here. I can promise you that. Do you stick to the more traditional stuff, like playing the festivals, the venues, the bars and clubs? Or do you go for some of the more unorthodox things like the farmers markets, if you have those up there? Do you just do you look for the more different gigs that can be something new for you?
I've done everything from festivals to venues to bars to charities to fundraisers. I've done the farmers market, of something in Toronto that we're doing that. I've done even like a busking festival where I can go on the street and busk and make money on the street, and they also paid me for busking, so I made double the... I know. That was the best day ever.
We don't have that
No,
here.
but I'm sure they don't do that anymore. That was way back in the day, and I could make money busking, and they paid me because, first of all, I traveled there, so they paid me, which is fair because that was an event. And I got on the poster too, so I was happy. But that day was so cool because that was the first time I was singing on the street and having people come very close to me. So I was feeling that, okay, I'm comfortable. This is cool. I'm singing right in front of them, literally face to face. But people knew that they had to stay back because I was rocking. But it was very interesting, and luckily, nothing bad happened. Everybody was really nice. There was no problems with anything. But, yeah, nice. I would totally do that again.
Cool.
Yeah.
We have something like that in Boston, which we call Porch Fest. And people go onto people's, porches, people that they know. They don't just, take over random porches. That'd be kind of funny. And they just play there. And sometimes they'll be playing on the roofs of buildings. They'll be playing on
no way
porch, the second story porch. It's all kinds of stuff. So
that is so cool.
It's a great concept. It's basically up and down the street. So there's all kinds of opportunities to check out different bands, and it's totally free. Mm-hmm. You can obviously make donations, but it's a really awesome event that I think we need to see more of those kinds of things. So I wish we had like a busking festival here in Boston. That would be
when does that event happen?
That actually just happened a little while ago. I believe it was in April or May. One of those.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It sounds interesting.
It's a lot of fun. It's a pretty cool thing. And I think that we need more unorthodox show options because it can't just be the bars and the clubs. I love the clubs here in Boston, but it's nice to see different alternative methods. Exactly.
If you want to get, you have a lot of things. Like, the thing about this business is to get further, you're spending a lot of money on products, on traveling and stuff, but at the same time, you think if what you're doing is even worth doing it. If you think it's worth to drive so far to go make that money at that gig, do it. But make sure you are making back money at least for gas to drive back. So in this business, it's hard to make money in the first place. So I just do it for the love and passion. And then if I make some money, great. If I don't, I'm still enjoying what I'm doing. Like, it's this business, if you want to make money, don't think it's going to come to you right away.
Okay.
You got a lot of work to do to make money.
Yeah. And you are definitely doing that work, Sabrina. I can definitely see that with like your social media posts and like your website and so forth. I'm curious as to what you got into the music business in the first place, but also what kept you in it, given that, as you said before, it's definitely a challenge to even get so much as gas money at a gig.
Well, what kept me in it are very supportive friends and family and supporters online who kept me going, because I have gone through ups and downs and through hell and back, and it's this business is it's so hard. But I actually got signed in January of this year.
Oh, cool.
So just getting that, I'm like, oh my God. Like, now I can at least sit down and be like, okay, but then my label says, just so you know, now the work starts. I'm like, I know, but can I just relax for 5 minutes?
I love it. They're like, okay, well, welcome to the label, now get to work.
Yeah. No, but it's true. There is a lot of work I have to do, but at least I'm where I've always wanted to be, with a team that can help me. Because doing it all yourself is, like, some people just want to be independent. I am with an independent label, but they have connections to radio, TV, and all that stuff, which I have to work to get there still. But at least now I'm in that door.
Okay.
And I can do stuff.
Right.
But what got me into music? Well, when I was very young, I don't even know how old, 13, 14, my cousin would always be playing guitar and showing me new bands and saying, I got this new record, you got to listen to this band. You got to open your mind and listen to different variety of music, not sticking to one. And me as a kid, I just wanted to listen to one style and anything. But he opened me up a bit. And then I think I was 15 or 16 years old. He showed me, you got to hear this band, this Green Day band. I'm like, really, huh? And then he showed me like Kerplunk and Dookie, and then boom, like I got hooked, and then I got every single album in one day. And then when I heard American Idiot, I'm like, well, Jeff, thanks so much for introducing me to Green Day, because from that day, that became what I wanted to do, being a rock star and be like Green Day. And to this day, he still says, man, I should not have showed you that record.
What have I done?
No, but like, I'm so connected to Green Day. And guess what? I just found out today, next week, they're releasing some new music. I think it's true. I don't know. But I'm looking forward, because it's been 3 years.
Oh,
since
cool.
I can't believe it's been 3 years since Revolution Radio. Wow, time really flies.
It certainly does. Now, have you ever had the chance to either meet the band or at least see them live?
I've seen Green Day live twice, and I've met the bassist.
Oh, cool.
On the stage, in between the show, they were doing something, and Mike came forward to throw some of his picks. And then I threw my poster up saying, can you please tell Billy I love him? And then he's like, yeah, I will. And then I'm like, yeah, look, he's going to remember that. Me being my fan. And then so that was the first time. And then the second time, I bought another poster. Oh my goodness, Billy saw it, came up to me, sang to my face. didn't grab my hand, but I was crying so much. But I'm like, thank God. And then the next second, the next song he plays was She from Dookie, and then I'm like, no, you did not just do that. That was my favorite song at that time. I was like, She. Oh, I can never forget. And Trey, before the show, he would come out to the crowd on this crazy bike and go. Oh, they're just so fun. They're like kids, but they're awesome. They're staying. They're really cool. They are staying young and cool. Yes, they're great.
Yes. So Green Day guys, if you happen to hear this, you've got a lifelong fan here. Book her for your next show, okay? Have her open for you. Make her dream come true, okay? I love that band actually. I was a Green Day fan from like way back in the day. I kind of fell off a little bit just because of time and life and whatnot. But I love old school Green Day. Back in the day, totally awesome stuff. But I also like the more modern stuff. American Idiot. I heard that song a million times. It's a great song.
Oh yeah. Do you like their Uno Dos Tres CD when they did the 3 CDs and they released it like pretty much almost together?
That's probably the period where I kind of fell off. So no, haven't heard that.
Actually, you know what? I kind of like that because it showed a different side of them. Plus, I like every Green Day song that they have ever written. So
nice.
I'm like a true, like, hearted, like. When I was like in high school, anybody made fun of Green Day, I would defend. I'll be like, you don't know who you're talking about, man. Like, you shouldn't be saying that to me. I have the Green Day wristband. I would have like Green Day shirts, everything, and they would still say, do you know this Green Day band? I'll be like, yeah, I'm wearing it. Like, be careful what you say. Some people just don't know that you're wearing something, and then they're talking about it. It's like, okay, dude. You don't want to say that to me.
I think that music is one of the things people are the most opinionated about. Mm-hmm. They can have the strongest opinions because they inspire that kind of following. Like there's some bands that have these diehard fans, and they will follow them through thick and thin. I want to go back, but you mentioned being signed to a label in January, and this is Dance Plant Records, which I saw. How did you guys get connected?
Well, I got discovered on LinkedIn.
Of all places,
LinkedIn!
Of all
LinkedIn!
places, that has to be the most like
One person told me to make an account on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, whatever. Like anything's gonna happen on LinkedIn. Many years later, hey Sabrina, I'm interested in blah, blah, blah. I'm like, come on, man, LinkedIn.
That is
mostly people get discovered on YouTube or Facebook. LinkedIn?
Yeah, Bandcamp, Reverb Nation, SoundCloud, at shows sometimes, at festivals, or at like conventions too.
I know LinkedIn, but I don't know how they found me. Anyway, this person found me and said and knew about Dance Plant, and he referred me to them. So
it kind of makes sense, actually, because a label would have a LinkedIn page. So it kind of makes sense that they might find you through that. But that has to be the most non-rock and roll way to discover an artist is LinkedIn.
And the funny thing is, I don't check my LinkedIn messages often. So that day when I went to go, okay, I'll check it, I'm like, I got an email? Like, how long has this email been in my message box?
Oh, that long.
Holy shit, it's been in it for a year.
Really? The message was a year old?
It was a year.
Oh my God.
And then I'm like, oh my God, I hope it's still up. Oh my God, I hope it still works.
Now, did they
I hope.
Did they remember you when you contacted them? Did they
yes.
say, oh yeah, we missed you a year ago?
Yes. Actually, yes. I said, I'm sorry. I don't usually come on LinkedIn, but I am interested in this. And oh yeah, it was so funny. But yeah, it was. Oh my God, that's hilarious because it was a year. But you know what? It's so funny. But maybe it was meant to be like that.
Yeah.
Maybe I was meant to see it in a year. You never know when things happen in your life. So
exactly.
Maybe that was the moment, and I was lucky that everything was still good.
Yeah, I like the fact that they were still willing to work with you, even though a year later some folks would be like, well, like some folks would give you a week maybe, and they say forget about it, move on.
Well, this person who messaged me wasn't the label. It was the person that liked me enough to tell me that about the label.
Oh, okay, cool.
And
cool.
they knew the head of the label.
Oh. Okay.
So when I contacted the label, I mentioned so and so told me about you, and then of course this is me going, okay, me sending to another label like anything's gonna happen. I'm just being honest here. I've sent to so many labels and I got nothing back. 2-3 days goes by, nothing happens. 4-5 days goes by, I get an email, Sabrina, call me. Whoa. There goes my dream come true. Because nobody tells you to call them if there's not an interest.
Exactly.
In
yeah, for them to say call me.
And they told me to call them on the spot, like call me now. Like, oh, wow. Please call this number right now. And then I was in the car having pizza. okay, I'm gonna call right now.
Oh my God. So working with this label, what about them made you want to sign? What about them made you think these guys are someone I want to work with?
What I liked was they were asking me questions on what I wanted to do, and I told them if they could do the things that I want happen. And when we discussed it, they of course they say it takes time, you have to be patient, but things can happen. But it turned out that everything sounded great, and they were very supportive in me and my music, and not wanting to change me because everybody else in the industry wanted to change me into pop, which I'm not surprised, but I want to stick to my guns and stay true to myself. And for the people that already know me, I'm not going to change like that. So, but also they're very. My label is very friendly. We're close. I talk to them weekly. They tell me everything. Everything is. I feel happy, and if I'm down some days, they tell me, you're here. You're okay, because I've been doing this a long time on my own, and I sometimes I still feel I'm on my own, but I'm not, but. I'm just glad I have like a family with me, and we have goals that we want to do. So right now we're working on pushing my songs to some mainstream stations. So
very nice. Yeah, I saw that you had released a compilation earlier this year.
Yeah, that's because they wanted to re-release my songs on their record. Nice. On their record label, because to push it to radio, they have to have my songs in their label.
Okay, I get you.
So I have a backup team. When I go to a label, when I go to the radio, they see that I have a team backing me up. So
cool.
Yeah.
So what is going to be happening for you in the near future? I know we talked about playing shows, but working with this label, are we thinking like a tour? Are we thinking like a mini tour? Are we going to be looking to work with some bigger venues? What's on the deck?
Well, definitely shows. I've been talking to them about tour, but that takes time to build. I just want to get my songs on the radio right now to get something buzzing. That's what they want. They want something to buzz, get something going. Also, I am working on some new music, so I'm writing some songs. I'm not close to the studio recording aspect yet, but I'm writing down ideas, themes. What do I want to say next? And with my music, I like to help people, and through my messages, and I write about things that I've gone through and what others have gone through. So I'm also trying to think about what do people really need to hear now, in this world right now that's happening. So,
what do you think they need to hear right now?
I will not go political. That's one thing. Green Day can do that because they have done it for the States. But I'll be like, can people be a bit more kinder to each other? And like,
I certainly have
but that's something I think people should work at, because not everybody is living a happy life.
Exactly. And I gotta say, you are one of the rare few I've met who doesn't get political with their music. Most people will do at least one or two political songs because it's like what's going on right now. People write music to reflect the times, and right now this is a big deal. Some folks are doing entire albums on politics.
I don't like to watch the news because everything I hear is negative, honestly. So it kind of makes me depressed. So why do I want to write about something that makes me depressed? Even though I'm going to say something positive in it. No, I don't have the time. If a band wants to do it, Green Day is the best at it. Because American Idiot was political, Revolution Radio was political. I don't want to say who it was about, but I'm sure you know. During those times when that album was released, you know who was the president at that time.
Yeah, so I can probably guess.
I don't want to say anything. I'm Canadian. I don't want to be mean.
Oh. Yeah. You mentioned that right now the big focus is getting your stuff out there onto different platforms. What do you think is a song that people should be hearing? Well, like, if you had to pick one song to send to a station or a podcast, which one would it be?
Hurt.
And why's that?
Because I think it deserves to be heard.
It's your baby.
I think no, it's a song that actually happened.
Okay.
That I co-wrote, and I think if somebody heard it, they can relate to it and it can help them.
Okay. I like that.
It was on my Kiss is a Killer EP.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And then it got pushed to the compilation.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you were to do a tour, I want to be like hypothetically here, play like the
Yeah.
If you were to do a tour, do you think you would say just in Canada, or do you think you'd want to kind of venture out to some different countries?
I want to go to Europe first.
Oh, I've had so many folks
then do Canada, and then if I can make it to the States, which is not easy to get in the States, I'll do that. But a lot of people go to Europe first.
It does seem to be like the main thing that any artist does when they decide to, tour globally. They'll go to like London, they'll go to England, they'll go to Spain, they'll go to Ireland, because those places have a very receptive audience.
Yes.
Yeah, people will tell me how they, played in some small town.
And they're very accepting of artists, especially rock. Europe likes rock. For some reason, everybody I've been hearing and I've been working with in the industry are always saying you should go to Europe or have your, like, a lot of the radio stations that are playing me online are in Europe.
Well, they did have that big band, what were they called again? The Beatles, that was the one. Yeah, they did have them.
Who doesn't know them?
Exactly, right? Yeah, but I know what you mean, because like I've had friends, they'll tour and they'll play in like small towns or kind of like bigger cities, and they say that people will pack the place because it's such like a love for the arts over there, love for like live music, and they just like doing it. Like they don't necessarily they're not as like picky. It's like, oh well, I don't know these guys, I'm not gonna go. They still go. So people will tell me that they play in like these small little villages, and like literally everyone turns out for the show. It's an amazing thing.
Also, you don't have to travel far. You just take a bus.
Yeah.
In Europe, and you just bus. Nice. Everything is close. Nice. I hear. Yeah. I've been to Europe, but I've been told, like, Avril Lavigne, for example, did her European tour before her album came out in Canada. Her first album came out. I didn't know that. I just found out. Like, a lot of these artists start out in Europe to get a buzz, and then, but, like, I know someone who saw Avril before she was signed in Europe. Yeah, I forgot who it was, but she told me that she's like, yeah, I saw Avril in Europe before I heard she had a record coming out. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, Sabrina, it's been absolutely awesome talking to you. Meantime, if folks want to learn more about you, to check out your music, where do they go for that?
They can go to sabrinafallah.com. And at the top of the page, I have my YouTube link, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and my iTunes if they would like to purchase my music. And I also have a Snapchat account, which I'm very crazy on. I love using all the filters. So it's Sabrina_Fallah. Add me. I follow everybody. Add me on all my social media. I follow back. I talk to people. I love making new friends. So I don't call the people online fans. I call them supporters and family and friends. I feel that's a nicer word to use. Because I want everybody to be like a family to me.
Exactly. And just to clarify, that is Fallah. Awesome talking to you. I look forward to hearing more of your exploits and